So students, last week in our class we were discussing the kinds of adjectives, and from your response in the Google Forms exercise, what I noticed is that some of you have a little doubt with regard to adjectives of quantity and adjectives of number. So before we begin today's class, let us quickly revise adjectives of quantity and adjectives of number. What's the difference between these two? Adjectives of quantity refers to a quantity of a noun, whereas adjectives of number refers to the number of the noun. And we know adjectives of quantity specifies how much, whereas adjectives of number specifies how many. Another thing that you should always remember about adjectives of quantity is that they are used for uncountable nouns. We already saw it last week. Adjectives of quantity should always be used for uncountable nouns. Let's see an example. Same example that we saw last week. There is enough rice for dinner. So we know that rice is an uncountable noun, and an adjective of number like several, few, many cannot be used here before rice. We cannot say many rice. We cannot say several rice. We cannot say few rice, because all of them are adjectives of number. So only an adjective of quantity can be used here, like enough rice, little rice, much rice, because rice is an uncountable noun. Adjectives of number, we know adjectives of number include cardinal numbers such as 500, 4000, etc. Ordinal numbers such as first, fifth. Adjectives denoting numbers such as many, several, few, etc. And especially you should remember about adjectives of number. They are used for countable nouns. Let us see an example. All the players had many fans. This was an exercise that was given to you last week, and many of you got this answer for this one wrong. Many of you answered it as many as an adjective of quantity. Actually, it is an adjective of number. All the players had many fans, because fans is a countable noun. Therefore, we have to use an adjective of number before fans. So many is an adjective of number. Many fans. Several fans, you can say. They had few fans. Why we have used an adjective of number there? Because fans is a countable noun. You can count how many fans are there. I had one fan. He was my first fan. I had several fans. So fans is a countable noun, and therefore you have to use an adjective of number before fans, and many is an adjective of number. That is it about difference between adjectives of quantity and adjectives of number. And now let us continue our lesson on kinds of adjectives. So let us quickly look at various kinds of adjectives. Once again, let us quickly read them. Adjectives of quality, adjectives of quantity, adjectives of number, demonstrative adjectives, possessive adjectives, interrogative adjectives, and distributive adjectives. These are the kinds of adjectives. And last week we already saw 4 of them. Now we are going to see possessive adjectives, interrogative adjectives, and distributive adjectives. So let us begin with the possessive adjectives. Possessive adjectives, they tell who possesses or owns the noun that follows. A possessive adjective tells who possesses or owns the noun that follows. It always comes before a noun. It specifies whose. Let us look at an example. My project is still incomplete. My project is still incomplete. My is a possessive adjective and we have used this possessive adjective just before the noun project. Another example. Please share your meal with me. Please share your meal with me. Your is a possessive adjective and we have used it before the noun meal. And here it specifies whose meal? Your meal. In the first example, the adjective my specifies whose project? My project. There are possessive adjectives and possessive pronouns. So, you must understand what is the difference between possessive adjectives and possessive pronouns. Possessive adjectives, they are my, our, your, his, her, its and their. They are used before nouns. Let us look at some more examples. This is our house. Show me your binoculars. This is our house. Our is a possessive adjective and it is used just before the noun house. Show me your binoculars. Your is a possessive adjective and that is used just before the noun binoculars. Whereas possessive pronouns are used in place of noun. Which are the possessive pronouns? Mine, ours, yours, his, hers, its and theirs. They are the possessive pronouns. They are used in place of noun. They are used instead of nouns, in the place of noun. Let us look at an example. These books are ours. So ours is a possessive pronoun there and it is standing there instead of in the place of noun. These books are our books. Instead of telling that these books are our books, just say that these books are ours. So, ours is used there as a pronoun and it is called a possessive pronoun. I like yours more. Suppose you talk to your friend and you are telling him or her that my dress is beautiful, but I like your dress more. So, instead of telling that your dress, I say that yours. I like yours more. So, yours is a possessive pronoun there. Sixth kind of adjectives are interrogative adjectives. An interrogative adjective is used before a noun to ask questions. The words whose, which and what are interrogative adjectives. So, interrogative adjectives are rather easy because there are only 3 interrogative adjectives, whose, which and what. Let us see the examples. Whose house are you looking for? Which country are you traveling to? What number did you dial? So, when you see that these question words, whose, which and what are followed by a noun, understand that they are interrogative adjectives. And the last kind of adjectives are distributive adjectives. A distributive adjective refers to each person, place or thing in a pair or group separately. And it always comes before a singular noun. Let's see the examples. Each child was given a school bag. You can park on either side of the road. Neither gate has a guard posted outside. Let us analyze these examples. Each child was given a school bag. Suppose you are talking about 10 or 15 children who were given school bag, and you want to tell that this child, that child, the third child, fourth child, like that, each child was given a school bag. So you want to say separately, you want to refer to each child, therefore use the distributive adjective each. Second example, you can park on either side of the road. So you want to say that you can park on this side of the road or you can park on that side of the road. Therefore, instead of telling like that, you say you can park on either side of the road. And the third example, neither gate has a guard posted outside. Suppose there are 2 gates and you want to specifically say that this first gate has no guard posted, and also the second gate also has no guard posted outside. So instead of telling two sentences, you can just say that neither gate has a guard posted outside. So in that case, you are referring to each gate separately. Neither gate has a guard posted outside. So here we end part of our lesson on kinds of adjectives, and now let us go to degrees of comparison. To compare two or more nouns, we use degrees of comparison of adjectives. There are three degrees of comparison: the possessive, the comparative, and the superlative. First of all, let us see how we use the possessive degree. We use the possessive degree of adjectives when there is no comparison, or the nouns or pronouns being compared are equal. So in two cases, we use the possessive degree of adjectives. First, when there is no comparison, or the nouns or pronouns being compared are equal. So in these two cases, we use a possessive degree. Let's see some examples. Munnar is cold. Darjeeling is as cold as Munnar. In the first example, Munnar is cold. Hope you know that Munnar is a hill station. There is no comparison with any other hill station. We are just telling a fact about Munnar. Munnar is cold. In the second example, we are talking about two hill stations, Darjeeling and Munnar, and we are comparing them. And both are equal. Darjeeling is as cold as Munnar. So both hill stations are equally cold. Therefore, we have used the positive degree of adjective cold. So in both these sentences, notice that we have used the positive degree. Let us look at some other examples. This is difficult. This is as difficult as that. So the first example, this is difficult. There is no comparison with any other thing. Therefore, we have used a positive degree. And in the second example, we have used positive degree because both tasks, suppose we are talking about this task and that task, both the tasks indicated by the pronouns are equally difficult. So therefore, we have used a positive degree, that is positive degree of adjective, that is difficult. Now let us go to the comparative degree. Let us see how comparative degree is used. We use the comparative degree of adjectives when the comparison is between two nouns or pronouns. So when we compare two nouns or pronouns, we use the comparative degree. Let's see the examples. Yeah, we are talking about the same hill stations. Munnar is colder than Darjeeling. This is more difficult than that. So in both these examples, we can say that we are comparing. In both these examples, we are comparing one thing with another thing, and we are telling that one thing is something more than the other. So here the first example, Munnar is colder than Darjeeling. We are talking about a higher degree of cold in Munnar than in Darjeeling. Therefore, we have used Munnar is colder than Darjeeling. The same way, this is more difficult than that. So when we are talking about two tasks, we already said that we are talking about two tasks. This task is more difficult than that task. So we have used the comparative degree of difficult, that is more difficult. So one thing that you must remember about comparative degree is that in the comparative degree, always remember to use the word than after the adjective. So in the comparative degree, remember to use the word than after the adjective. But we do not use the word than after elder. We use to after elder. However, we use than after older. Haider is elder to his sister. Haider is older than his sister. So if you are using the word elder, you must use to after elder, after the adjective elder, instead of than. If you are using older, then you must use than after the adjective older. So once again, let us read those examples. Haider is elder to his sister. Haider is older than his sister. And now let us see when and where we use superlative degree. We use the superlative degree of adjectives when we compare 3 or more nouns or pronouns and want to express the highest degree of some person, place or thing. So read it again. We use the superlative degree of adjectives when we compare 3 or more nouns or pronouns and want to express the highest degree of some person, place or thing. Let's see some examples. Again, Munnar is the coldest hill station. This is the most difficult of all. Let us analyze these examples. We are talking about 3 hill stations. Let us take Munnar, Darjeeling and Mussoorie. And we say that among these 3, the highest degree of cold is in Munnar. Therefore, we say that Munnar is the coldest hill station. And in the second example, this is the most difficult of all. Suppose you were given some task by your teacher and you found that among those tasks there were 4 or 5 tasks. Among them you found this particular task as having the highest degree of difficulty. Therefore you say that this is the most difficult of all. So that expresses the highest degree in comparison with all other tasks. Another thing that you must remember about superlative degree is that the superlative degree of adjectives, you must always remember to use the article the before the adjective. So look at all these examples here. Munnar is the coldest hill station. This is the most difficult of all. Let's see some examples. Sunil is the happiest child. Haider is the eldest. So here we end our lesson on degrees of comparison of adjectives. Here you have also something for your self-study. In page number 11 of our textbook Grammar Gear, that is formation of comparative and superlative degree. I request you to read through that page very attentively and learn how comparative and superlative degrees are formed. I also earnestly request you to attempt the Google Forms exercise, for which a link is attached with the description part of the video lesson in our YouTube channel. It will help me to get a feedback as to how much you have understood the lesson. So kindly attempt the Google Forms exercise also. Wish you all a good day. Thank you.